In this video, we're going to look at the Kemper stage and determine if it's still relevant in 2026. Hey guys, I'm Doctor McFarland. Welcome back to the channel. I get surgical with audio and I heal people with sweet rock and roll. It happens every day. It's a common occurrence. And I'm glad that you're here hanging out with me in this video. So what I have here in front of me is the Kemper stage Mark II. It's the second version of this. And I went back and forth with Kemper for a few years, probably the last 2.5 or 3 years. I would buy one. I like it. Then I would get tired of it or feel like I just didn't need it. So I would sell it. Then I would buy another one. And then I was like, yeah, I like it, but I like, touch screens and all these other fancy things. Then I would sell it off again. And what keeps me coming back is a few different things. We'll go over that in this video. But it's just really a great unit. I don't care what year it is. I don't care what anybody else is doing, whatever NAMM is doing, whatever Fractal's doing, and Quad Cortex with all the captures and the Tonex with the little bitty pedals and whatever else. And all these products are great in their own right, but they are just tools at the end of the day for music creation. And if you are comfortable with the unit and you like its features and you are able to make the music that you want to make on those units, then that is the right unit for you. And it literally does not matter what anything else is going on or who is talking to you saying, oh, you don't want to buy that because this is not going to work, right? So getting down to the Kemper stage, what we have here is a pretty simple layout, okay? We do have a fixed signal path with an amp and a cab in the middle with 4 slots, A, B, C, D in the front, and then 4 slots in the back, X, mod, delay, and reverb, okay? Now, the beauty of the Kemper is everything is totally gapless and seamless, and you also have the morph function, which we'll go over here in a second. But essentially, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different rigs that you can call up. Then there's also a tap tempo that's always available. You always have a tuner, which is right up here, that's always available, which you can't see because I'm in the way. There's also a looper right next to it, which you also can't see because I'm in the way. Sorry. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 effects buttons that you can assign any number of effects to a single switch or multiple switches, whatever you want to do. So those are your on or off stomp boxes, if you will. And then getting into the morph function, you can step on rig 1 and then hit it a second time. And now notice that the top LED is lit up instead of the bottom one. So you can go from bottom to top. And you can change any parameter, whether that's on the amp, the cab, any of your effects. If you want those to seamlessly switch or morph between one type of setting to the next, then that's what the morph function does. And that's how I have this Dock Essential performance set up right now. So when I first got this unit, I didn't load any of my own personal profiles. I'm just like, all right, let me just see what the unit has. Because I know they've introduced liquid profiles, which is a way to take a certain amp's settings and tone stack and then superimpose that on top of another profile, which may be totally separate. So take the number 3, for example. We have a Dock Vox, and we also have a Recto, a Plexi, a 6505, and also a JCM 800. But for the Dock Vox, you can pull up any other amp that you want and then lay over top the liquid profile for a Vox amplifier, and magically you're going to get a treble, a bass, a cut knob, all the tone stack options that you would normally have with a Vox amplifier on top of that amp, regardless if it's a Marshall or a Fender or an Orange amp or any other kind of amp out there. So it is kind of cool to experiment with liquid profiles in that way. And that is one thing that I will say about the Kemper and the liquid profiles that you don't necessarily get with other captures. So let's take NAMM, for example. It is literally a snapshot in time of how your current rig was set up at that moment, and it is captured there. Now you can adjust the input, you can adjust the output volumes. So if you want to get less gain or more gain, it's possible to get there. There's also a global EQ that you can adjust. There's also a input gate that you can adjust as well for like your high gain settings. And so it's kind of cool in that regard, but it still doesn't do what Kemper profiles do that allow you to really shape the sound and the tone and how clean or dirty a certain profile is just by adjusting a few parameters. Okay, so let's dive in just a little bit more. Let's go back to one over here. So this is a Mesa Boogie single rectifier. I would have probably preferred a dual rec, but I just didn't see it in the 45 profiles that already get loaded on the unit when it ships to you. So I just chose a single rectifier, which is totally fine. And if I long press on amplifier, you can see my settings right here. If I have a volume, I have a clean comp, and that's going to be very important here in a second. But we also have the generic gain, the amp model, the bright cap, and the gain pot reference. Then we have bass, middle, treble presence. And then we have very Kemper-esque style parameters like clarity, tube shape, tube bias, direct mix. So you can do like parallel processing type stuff. There's also definition, power sagging, pick, compressor, and so forth. And even in the rig area here, so here's your rise time and your fall time, which tells the morphing how fast or slow to switch between the different settings. But then we get into our fixed effects, which were added later on in a firmware update. Maybe the original MK1s can get this as well, but I'm pretty sure it's just for MK2. Also the Kemper player little pedals like that. For the fixed effects, we have pitch, then we have noise gate. So it's great that you can have that on there without having to take up one of these slots over here. We do have a compressor. We have a pure boost, a wah-wah, a vintage chorus, an air chorus, a double tracker, and so on. So lots of different options there to choose from. But let me go ahead and play some tones for you. And I'm just going to let you know the Kemper still sounds really stinking good in 2026, regardless of what else is out there. Okay? So here's a clean tone on the Mesa Boogie single rec. So now, going back to the morph function, so if I hit the switch one more time, I'm now going to get a breathing beast of fire, and it's just amazing. All right, so there you go, guys. That is technically a very high gain amp that is allowed to be clean because of the clean comp setting that's already baked into your Kemper, okay? So Kemper has really gone out of their way to not just imagine, but give you all the tools that a musician would need to craft a tone for the studio or the stage. And you have a very well laid out unit right here that's very easy to maneuver and organize, and essentially it works great. So you don't really need a touchscreen in 2026. I know it's all the rage, but the Kemper is just really, really, really good. Now let me go over to number 5 real fast. Let me give you the main reason why I repurchased a Kemper, and it's because of the reverbs. Honestly, the reverbs are worth the price of admission, if not for the profiles and the liquid profiles alone. Okay, so listen to this reverb right here. Once again, this is the JCM 800 set to a very low gain setting. So it's clean, even though it's a high gain amp. So check this out. And then I have a delay and a auto swell on this switch. So check this out. All right, now listen. I just switched to another rig and all that beautiful reverb and delay just kept going. Okay. So once again, Kemper has seamless and gapless switching between performances and rigs and morphing and all the different cool stuff. So it's extremely versatile. And if you're looking for a road ready and worthy setup that you can use for the studio or the stage, then I don't think you can get any better than the Kemper stage. All right, guys, so that's just a few points that I can come up with off the top of my head that I'm telling you, I really like the Kemper. It just sounds great. It's easy to dial in, and I think it's here to stay for the studio. So leave me your comments down below and let me know your thoughts about the Kemper stage. And while you're down there, also check out the description where you can go to my website where I have a huge sale right now going on. You can get all my Kemper profiles and full access to the backing tracks and the music theory and any other downloads for preset packs of any other device that I have on there. And it's all for one price, lifetime access. Go check it out. Huge sale. It's never been this low. It's never been this low. And I just really want you guys to really dive into the website and enjoy it and get a lot of education and inspiration and just motivation on what you can do being a better musician and therefore making better music and being a better performer in your band and all this stuff. So thanks, guys, for watching. I am Dr. McFarland. I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.